Hey y'all, how you doing today? I hope you're doing well today, tonight, morning, evening, whatever you're getting a chance to sit down and watch this. I promise I'll be brief with your time tonight. But dang it, this is tough and it's important because it affects not just the chronic pain folks in the invisible community. It impacts chronic pain, chronic illness, as well as folks dealing with mental health struggles. What the hell am I talking about? No, not bad doctors, not bad healthcare or bad insurance. I'm talking about sleep. Let's talk about sleep. That's coming up next right here on Invisible No More. Well, hey y'all, thank you for joining us for another edition of Invisible No More here on the Eclipse Pain Network. And for the newbies, real brief, what the hell is Invisible No More? It's simple. It's a place for if you're dealing with an invisible illness, chronic pain, chronic illness, or mental health struggles, that you can come, know that you're seen, you're heard, you're loved, you're not alone in your struggles, and that working together, regardless of our diagnosis, whether it's chronic pain or mental health, we can find ways together to hopefully be a little bit better each and every day. We've proven that. Hell, some people have gotten actual diagnoses from others in the community because they listened to them, went to their doctors with the tests that were done, and they get diagnosed after searching for 5-10 years. It's incredible how this community works. And while I may be a common face to invisible, I am not invisible. Keith Johnson's not invisible. I am me. Invisible is made up of thousands of people who advocate on a daily basis by simply sharing their story, what worked for them, what didn't work for them, how this medicine improved their quality of life or how this medicine destroyed their quality of life, and everything in between. So everybody has all the information they need on whether they want to try a medicine or try a procedure or try whatever, or even ways to find better doctors or get better care or to beat that insurance company, right? That's what Invisible is. And so we talk about different topics. We shine light on things that need light shown on them, like ACE scores or forced tapers or tons of other things. If you go back through the library that I've done or Dr. Leek has done or that Katie from Nurse and Thrive or Jose Vasquez from Baseball Strong have done, we're all here so people can be better and find ways to be better. So tonight's topic is sleep, or specifically the lack thereof it. If you're in the invisible community, chronic pain, chronic illness, or mental health struggles, and whether you've been officially diagnosed or not, because it can take 10 years to get diagnosed, you know the deal. You know what I'm talking about. Pain or anxiety or symptoms flare at night, insomnia becomes that unwanted partner that we don't want in our lives anymore. And here's a wild stat for you. I was listening to something that Jose from Baseball Strong said, and it just kind of blew me away. See, Jose's worked in baseball for like 20 years. He was a strength coach, and he worked like the last team was the Texas Rangers. He would watch players, elite athletes, players who have all the money in the world at their disposal and the team's disposal for them to be the best shape they can be in. And he said that, if a player lost one night of sleep, that one night of sleep loss could impact them for up to 3 days. 3 days for missing one night of sleep for an elite athlete. That's crazy, because now think about us. Think about people who are already dealing with pain or illness or fatigue or mental health struggles. If it takes a pro athlete 3 days to make up for that one night, how many days do you think it takes us? I don't have the answer to that, but I'm betting for me, well, I know for me, it's more than 3 days at times. I don't get the sleep that I know I need or I want. See, for us in the invisible community, sleep is not a luxury. It's not something that we can just push through like we do every day when we put masks on, right? It's survival. So let's talk about how we can actually get possibly some more sleep. But before we get into the deep ways and some possible solutions to that problem, let's talk about why it matters to the invisible community so much, why sleep is so important. Because see, when we're already fighting pain or fatigue or symptoms all day long, sleep's when our body tries to actually recover and repair itself. It's when inflammation tends to go down. It's when your brain tends to process stress. It's when your nervous system finally gets a break. And without good sleep, in my life, and I'm guessing and betting in a lot of other invisible lives, when you don't get that good sleep, everything gets worse. my pain gets worse, my mood gets worse, brain fog seems to come in and settle, and I can't force it out. It's a damn vicious cycle where poor sleep makes my symptoms worse, and worse symptoms make my sleep harder to get. It's like a snake that feeds on itself, right? Anybody else experience this? If so, type it in the comments and let me know. I could be way off base here with the invisible community, but I don't think I am, especially in some of the comments I've received when I started telling people I was going to talk about sleep tonight. So if we want any shot at a better day tomorrow, we've got to protect our sleep tonight, right? Does that make sense? So what are some things that we can do? Some easy things, well, in theory, easy things to do so we can possibly get either more sleep or better sleep. How about something starting with our diet, right? Here's an obvious one, caffeine. I mean, and I get it. Caffeine is basically a personality trait to so many of us in the invisible community because we rely on it to help us mask, to help us push through all the days that we just don't have it in us. But caffeine stays in our system, in your body, for hours, at least for most people. Obviously, different people are like fingerprints, like medicines and treatments, so going to impact us all differently in some ways. But typically, caffeine can stay in your system for hours. So we need to cut it off by early afternoon at best, right? Which I know, like for me, it's not uncommon that I'm drinking coffee at 7 o'clock at night, just so I can stay up till 9, and then I stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning. Another thing which is also impacts me is we need to avoid spicy foods. The majority of us need to be avoiding spicy foods. I'm sorry if I'm talking in blanket statements because everybody is different. But doctors and nutritionists and others, sleep experts, recommend avoiding spicy foods late in the afternoon, early evening, or late at night, simply because they can cause heartburn, indigestion, and nothing at all ruins my sleep anymore than my stomach or my intestines staging a protest at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Number 4 is alcohol. And I can see where alcohol can help people fall asleep. I really can. But, you know, for a lot of us, alcohol is not an option if you have some severe nerve issues. In my body, it causes my nerves to catch on fire and excruciating, and it knocks any kind of benefit alcohol would have away out of my life. But alcohol, well, it helps you feel like you're fall asleep easier. It really doesn't. It causes mass disruptions in people's sleep cycle, and you wake up feeling worse and tired and more exhausted, as well as you have the possible benefit of that wonderful hangover in the morning. So alcohol is not the cure there either. Another thing that I would recommend avoiding late afternoon, early evening, late at night would be something like heavy, greasy meals. Your body is going to work overtime to try to digest that stuff, right? And instead of your body getting a chance to relax and repair, it's in overdrive trying to take care of those Jack-in-the-Box tacos that were only 2 for 99 cents, right? They tasted good at the time, but is it worth losing sleep over to have Jack-in-the-Box tacos late at night? Or White Castle sliders, or Waffle House at 3 o'clock. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We need to try to keep an eye on what we're putting in our body to give our body an opportunity to take the night off, so our brains can deal with stress. So our bodies the inflammation can start to swell, the swelling can start to go down. So our bodies can start to repair the best that it can. Okay, so those are some things that I would recommend to not do. And what experts, and trust me, I'm not an expert, I'm just a chronic pain dude. But experts recommend not doing those things for your diet-wise before you try to go to sleep at night. But what are some things that might actually help? And this is a tough one because I know so many of us live and die by these things, but a lot of us will do mental distractions so that we can kind of compartmentalize the pain, or compartmentalize the symptoms, or compartmentalize our brain spinning, right? But here's a big one, and it's tough for me. We need to learn how to put our damn phones down. You know, I get it though, when you get notifications, somebody's texted you, or your favorite person online posts something and you get notified, you want to check it out. We need to learn to just not immediately reach for that, because that's just a distraction that's going to keep us awake. Another idea that I've started to implement, and it is kind of helping in some ways, I fall asleep watching YouTube videos every single night. I put on the most boring World War I, World War II history documentaries, specifically battleships and naval warfare. It's extremely dry. The guy that runs the channel is extremely monotonous, but I'll put it on. But then I'll set the sleep timer on my TV to shut it off. Because more than once, that video that I fell asleep to was turned off, and then the next thing I know, YouTube for some reason will throw up a music video by like the Dropkick Murphys, you know, and it's blaring out of the screen, out of my TV, waking me up, which causes me to sit there for another 45 minutes before I can hopefully fall asleep. So try using that sleep timer so that those infomercials or those videos don't keep playing in rotation, and wake you from what you're hopefully getting, which is a good night's sleep. Number 3 is a white noise machine, or if you grew up in the South, a fan, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Something that will help block out the traffic noise, help block out the trash trucks going by, help block out the construction that's next door, help block some of the sounds out so your dogs don't continuously go nuts overnight. They've been proven in a lot of cases where they can really help with all of that and help calm the body down to where it can start to repair itself, right? And start to heal and help shut the brain down. The last one is also very difficult for me. I need to, and I think a lot of us in the community need to do our best to get a consistent bedtime, even on the days when pain is just incredible, or when we're flaring, or something's going on in our mind and it won't shut off. We still need to try to go to bed, I believe, and I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments if you want. If this doesn't work for you, trying to go to bed around the same time every night trains our internal clock to hopefully start cooperating with us. A routine where our body knows it's time to go to bed. Routines for me with my undiagnosed ADHD on the spectrum stuff are extremely important. I do not function well if my routine gets jacked up. Even if it's places like I go on vacation. I just got back from a wonderful experience in Connecticut and Rhode Island. But at the same time, the first night or so, it took my body a little bit to figure out where I was. Everything was safe. What time are we eating? What time are we getting up? What time do I have to be? It took 1.5 days of a four-day vacation to get that going. So for me, routines are extremely important. And if they're important to you, perhaps going to bed at that consistent time every night might be a good thing to start thinking about doing. Another thing is, and it's going to depend on your care team, talk to your doctor about meds, about medication options. If you've tried the lifestyle, you've changed your diet, you're using the sleep timer, you're going to bed at 10:30 every night on a consistent basis, and you're still struggling, maybe there's something else going on. And that's a conversation that you might need to have with your care team. There's no shame in asking for help with this. Sleep medications, muscle relaxers, or something to even address the the anxiety, the spinning brain. It's all fair game. I keep saying one of the best things about Invisible is it's taught me, and it's taught so many others, to use whatever we can get our grubby little hands on to help us be better. And if it's medication to help me sleep, I'm going to be all over it. Look, I really am, because why? I want to try to get better. I want tomorrow to be better than today. I'm never going to be cured. I'm never going to be saved. I'm never going to be fixed, but can tomorrow be a little bit better? So I'm not ashamed to talk to my doctor about my lack of sleep. Right now, I'm currently using medical lettuce on occasion. Can't use it all the time because it's purely cost prohibitive in the state of Texas. Purely cost prohibitive, and it doesn't work that well. I learned this by comparing when I was in Connecticut with what real medical leaf can do versus what the state of Texas forces us to buy. It's all the difference in the world. So I'm going to talk to my doctor again. What can I add to my regimen, to my treatment plan that might help me get some sleep? Two more quick tips to try as well. Number one, if you can, if at all possible, try to keep your bedroom cool, not ice freezing cold, but cool. Typically, most people, our bodies sleep better in a cooler room. Now, I saw a friend on TikTok posting the other day. They had a fan, a small battery-powered fan, and in front of that was like a bucket of ice, because they were without power and they were trying to cool off. I get it. It's not always a possibility to set the air conditioner at 72 degrees, especially with electric prices these days. Holy cow. But if possible, try to keep that room a little bit cooler. Number two, it sounds like a no-brainer, but I feel it needs to be said. Do your best to keep your bedroom dark. Blackout shades if you want to. Paper over the windows. Whatever it takes, get the room as dark as you can. Dark and cool is the idea, is the setting we're trying to get for most people. Again, everybody's different. Everybody's different. You may need buried in 100 blankets and the furnace turned on in the summertime. If that works for you, boo, please do it, because I want you to be better. But if you haven't tried a dark, cool room, maybe try it for more than one night. Try it for like a week and see if that helps you at all. Because see, if things like our pain is keeping us up, we need to talk to our care team about other things like positioning, like what putting a pillow between your knees or under your back help you. I know so many people in the chronic pain community, men and women who are not pregnant, sleep with like these pregnancy body pillows, right? Because it helps support their body, which helps encourage more and better and deeper sleep. Because sometimes it's not all about falling asleep, it's about being physically comfortable enough to stay asleep. And if your brain just will not shut off at night, racing thoughts, anxiety, replaying conversations from 6 years ago for no reason, that's worth addressing too. That's why I so recommend finding a therapist that you can talk to. Every time I mention therapist, people are like, but my pain is not caused by my brain. I'm not saying that. I would never say that. What I'm saying when I tell people that I recommend finding a therapist you can relate to is that these people are trained to help us figure out ways to shut this down at times. I do something, I call it my inventory. I do it at least twice a day. I do it when I go to bed at night. I start at my toes, close my eyes, and this takes about 15 minutes. How are my feet? Are they burning? What's my level? It's 0 through 10. Is this the worst pain I've ever experienced in life? No. Is it the worst pain my feet have ever been? No. Am I going to be able to survive this pain tonight? Yes, I am. Then I move up to my shins, then to my thighs, all the way up to the top of my head. I do that every night before I go to bed, and I also do that every morning, just so you know, before I climb out of bed, so I have a better idea up here mentally about where I'm going to be at for the day, right? Because sleep's that important. And I understand there's a cost associated with going to a therapist. I get it. But if it works, that's when we have to figure out what's more valuable to us. Am I going to have ramen noodles for a week so I can go to a therapist? For me, yeah, that's a thing that I'm willing to do. But for some, I understand it's not possible. I totally understand it. I totally get it. When you're in pain, sleep feels like a cruel joke sometimes, like your body won't even give you that. But protecting your sleep, however you can, however small the improvement, that matters. It's like we preach the gospel here at Invisible. We're willing to take all these little things, PT, a steroid injection, for some it may be a new medication, or these little things. They're not going to take away all of our pain or all of our symptoms from our chronic illness, or they're not going to take away all the stress or the mental health issues we're having all at once and all by themselves. But if we can stack some of these things up, right? Stack it up, can we get better sleep? Because see, if it takes a professional athlete, people who are paid to be in the best shape of their lives, people who has the backings of billion-dollar corporations for them to stay healthy, if it can take them 3 days for one partying night or one night of insomnia to recover, we know the toll it's taking on us. And we need to give ourselves grace when we can't sleep. We need to give ourselves grace whenever our symptoms or our diagnoses give us grief. We need to remember that we didn't cause this. We were just trying to process and to deal with it. We need to give ourselves grace when it comes to not being able to sleep right, because that giving ourselves grace will help lead us to finding the tools to get the best rest we can. So maybe try the small stuff first. Cut back on the caffeine. Try to put the phone down when you can. Get consistent routine set up. And if you need help beyond that, ask for it. Ask your doctor. Ask your care team. They should be helping you sleep. They're not there just to help us survive when we're awake. They're there to help us just be better. So please don't be afraid to ask for help, because sleep isn't a weakness. Sleep for us in the invisible community is survival, and we deserve it just as much as anyone else. And remember, I'm not invisible. Amy's not invisible. Kate's not invisible. Jennifer's not. Mark's not. Leslie's not. Independently, we're not invisible no more. What is invisible no more? It's all of us. It's all of us. If you've ever shared your story about your condition, your diagnosis, or your symptoms with somebody, about how a medicine helped you or didn't help you, or how a procedure helped you or didn't help you, you are advocating. You're advocating. You are advocating. And that's the beautiful thing about invisible. I can disappear tomorrow. Amy could disappear tomorrow. So could Leslie. So could Kate. So could Jennifer. So could Mark. So could all these other people who work behind the scenes to help others be better. We could all disappear tomorrow. But by you sharing your story, you sharing what worked, you sharing what didn't work, you sharing tips on how your relationship has gone from crap to somewhat better, stable because of different things you tried or changed, you sharing all of that is advocating. You may not be like going to DC and testifying in front of Congress, which is a beautiful thing to do. I admit that. But what you're doing is you're impacting somebody today, or you're going to help them develop a plan to be better tomorrow. And while yes, testifying in front of Congress is a beautiful thing, that's decades out. You know, some have been doing this for 10 years, promising us relief, but yet in 10 years, the DEA has still managed to cut production by 65% versus what it was 10 years ago. So we need to not only work towards the future in legislation and in elections and stuff like that, we need to focus on today and tomorrow, because a better quality of life today or tomorrow is an immediate impact. And by advocating, by sharing your story and your lived experience, y'all, you're educating people, and that's what you're doing, and that's what Invisible No More is. It's reminding people every single day when they wake up that regardless of what's going on in their immediate environment, inside their home, that outside that home at least they know they are seen, they are learned, they are loved, they are heard, they're not alone in this fight, and that by working and advocating and sharing, that all of us can hopefully be a little bit better. I love you guys. If you're watching this on Thursday, August the 20th, 2026, tonight at 7 p.m. on TikTok, we'll be doing a live, Invisible Live on TikTok tonight. If you're new to TikTok, if you go to TikTok, search Keith, the letter N, Texas, and you'll find us at 7 o'clock tonight. And I hope to see you there. If you're new, thanks for spending some time with us. If you're a regular, I appreciate you guys more than you know. Please hit the like button, the little thumbs up. Please subscribe. Let's let Doc Leak know that everything that he and everyone else is putting into this is paying off, because I really feel we are getting better. I love you. We'll see you guys, and be safe. Peace.